Welcome back to Podcast Recovery, everyone. We're your hosts, David O.
Carly S.
And Eric B.
I'm just going to start ignoring it because I hate it so much. Today we're joined by our very special guest, John. How are you doing today, man?
Doing good. Got up early, obnoxiously caffeinated, and ready to get this over with.
Oh, fair enough.
Happy to be here.
Yes, there we go. Where are you from?
I am from Maryland. I grew up in Jarrettsville in Harford County.
Where?
Oh,
wait,
Oh, so
Jarrettsville?
you grew up in Harford County.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you're like that, like between Bel Air and Hereford Zone? Is that
Yeah, I
kind
grew
of
up
it?
like right on the line of Baltimore County, Harford County.
Okay.
Okay.
That place, yeah, it's an interesting place up there.
Yeah.
When were you first introduced to recovery?
The first time I tried to get clean, I was 23.
How old are you, by the way?
I am 32.
Okay. All right, cool. And how long have you been clean?
I've been clean for 7 years and a month and some days.
Fantastic. All right. And with all that out of the way, we're going to turn it over to you. Share your story with us. Take it away, buddy.
Okay, I'm John.
Hi, John.
I love heroin.
All right. Nice. Your type of people, Eric.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I'm one of 4 kids, 2 Irish Catholic parents. It was just a fun way to say that they're alcoholics. Started using when I was like 12. I am the 3rd child. I have middle child syndrome.
What did you start using first when you were 12?
Alcohol.
Either Budweiser's or smoking weed.
Okay.
I don't really remember. Probably drinking.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. It was always around in my house. My older brother was smoking. My parents were drinking. Yeah, I don't know. I had too much leash and did whatever I wanted from a very young age.
Mm-hmm.
Hung out with kids a lot older than me, and just did whatever I wanted to. Did whatever I felt I needed to do to fit in. And was predominantly just left to my own devices. So, yeah, I started drinking, started smoking when I was like 12, hanging out with older kids, started experimenting with other drugs, probably 14, 15, started doing Percocets at 17.
Wait, hold on. I want to ask a really weird question. Actually, no, it's not weird at all. We all smoke weed here. What was your preferred method of smoking weed?
Oh.
Let's start with you, Carly.
When?
Yeah, well, just, over your career, over your pot smoking career. I love smoking blunts.
I didn't really have a preferred.
Really?
Really.
Okay.
I mean, it was just like, a blunt was nice every once in a while. I did not like joints.
No, joints suck.
Joints are terrible.
Joints suck. Yeah.
But then it was like, bowls are easy.
Bowls are easy. Bongs are,
I felt I always got the highest off of a bong.
Yeah. Gravity bongs were excessive.
Way excessive.
Way excessive.
No.
And like the vaporizers, like the like with the bags and everything, I hated those.
I feel like it just
volcanoes
changed.
are great.
This is terrible. Wait, what about you?
I like ripping tubes, dude. I mean, I want a nice, expensive, clean
Glass
bong.
piece.
I know exactly who you
I
are,
wanted
John.
to have a
You
clean
want a
hitter
roar?
piece.
Was it a roar at your time, or was it
I had
fire?
a roar. I had
with
an
a
Illadelph.
glass catcher.
You had an Illadelph.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Shout out to Illadelph. They fuck.
I remember Illadelph. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't know. So what's funny is like nowadays, like, I don't know. The first time I got clean, I relapsed on weed, right? And I realized that like I don't like being stoned. I don't like being fucking high on weed. I just like I was uncomfortable as a fucking teenager and like wanted to get out of myself, and like I found out at the ripe old age of 23 that like I don't even fucking like smoking weed, right? but like I miss smelling weed. I miss like the ritual, right? Like I miss
Dude, you
like,
know Brad, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Brad always hated smoking weed, and I would always just fucking peer pressure him. I was like, dude, I can't smoke alone. He'd be like, fuck, fine. And he'd get high, and he'd be like, I fucking hate you so much for this.
Yeah, so like I don't find it to be a good time. Like if I ever romanticize smoking weed, it's just about like the culture and the ritual and the smell and like the strains and the glassware, and like that's
Yeah.
I mean that's what I miss about that, but I have no desire to smoke any weed. So that's tight.
That's good. Yeah, there you
I
go.
got coupons in the mail the other day for the dispensary, the
Yeah,
neighborhood
so did I.
dispensary.
Wait,
Are you
what?
talking about the Summit?
That's a thing.
The
now?
Summit Wellness.
Summit
yeah.
Wellness, me too.
Yeah.
March is 30% off. April $15 gift card,
And
May is $10
10,
gift
yeah.
card.
And
It's in my
we're
hand
all
right
better
now.
for knowing that. Yeah, no, I got grilled by my girlfriend when she found it in the mail. She was just like, "Why? What? Can I just be nosy? Why is this being sent to you?" I was like,
Miranda?
No, that
"What is
that
it?"
was sent to my wife.
Yeah.
Mine was
that
sent to
wasn't
me.
sent to me.
Mine was sent to me, and I threw it out. And Garrett asked me this morning, "Do you still have that that coupon?" Because Dave and Jen are in town, so
Oh, there you go. Nice.
it's like
yeah.
it's in the trash. Go find it.
Yeah. I mean, might as well Groupon, am I right? All right, continue.
Yeah. So started doing perks at like 17. Started sniffing dope at like 21, and that went on until just before I turned 25. And I was like, I don't know what it is about like imaginary timelines or whatever, but like I told myself, I was like, at 25, like I should be an adult and I shouldn't be doing this shit, right? I was like, at 25, like I need to grow up. Like, this is not a phase. Like, this needs to stop. So yeah, 23, I tried to get clean. But I didn't know, like, am I an addict?
Why did you try to get clean at 23?
Because my life was unmanageable.
Okay.
Yeah, I had some opportunities. I fucked them up. I couldn't stay stopped by myself. And I just, like, I was 23, right? I was like, my best drinking years are ahead of me. So, like, I didn't...
You're not wrong.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know if I'm a drug addict. I don't know if heroin's just really awesome.
It is.
And it's both of those things, right?
Yeah, it's a little column A, a little column B.
Yeah, so I got clean. Yeah, I didn't know anything about recovery, right? Like, I knew one of my degenerate friends, like, had gotten clean. Can't even say that. One of my degenerate friends went to rehab a couple times. And, like, I just went off of their experience, which was a terrible idea because he did not have private insurance and I had private insurance. So he was like, you should go to Mount Manor or Gaudenzia. And I ended up going to Mount Manor when I could have gone to fucking Florida.
Wait, which mountain manor?
Off Frederick Road in West
Ew,
Baltimore.
God, I'm
In
so
Irvington?
bad for you.
Yeah, so I ended up there for 2 weeks. And then this kid showed up so there was this kid. He, like, ran in the same circles as me. And, like, he was that kid that, like, as long as I wasn't as bad as him, like, I didn't have a problem, right? Like, pissing on people's couches.
The fucking
like,
meter stick. I
Yeah,
told you. It's a real thing.
Wait, stop. Why was he pissing on people's couches?
That's what you do.
because that's what you do when you drink too much alcohol.
Yeah.
That's
Is this guy a drug addict?
That's being called raised wrong.
Oh, yes, he is a drug addict.
Okay.
Just
Trust
a different
me.
kind of drug.
He is an ivory tower drug addict. Like, he's going on heroin. He's like, no, I only do the best of drugs.
So yeah,
Or I just make my own.
He showed up for
Yeah.
outreach. He had put some clean time together. He showed up for a treatment center. And like he was dressed well, he's driving a nice car, he had a couple years clean, and I was like, if that fucking guy can do it, I could fucking do it.
Yeah.
And again, he was there on outreach, so I transferred rehabs. I left Mount Manor and went to Florida.
Oh, nice.
So that was cool.
Did that work out
To the
for
addict
you?
farms.
So I went to Mount Manor for 2 weeks. I went to treatment in Florida for 30 days. I got out of there. I did their IOP for 3 months. And then I came home and I white knuckled a month.
Where in Florida?
In Stuart, Florida, Port St. Lucie.
What the fuck, dude?
I don't even know where that is.
Yeah.
You probably know my wife.
I don't know.
You probably know her.
Where?
She went to Port St. Lucie around that time.
Where
too.
is that?
It's like middle of Florida,
Okay.
of the
It's
coast.
an hour north of Palm Beach.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
It's
Cool.
on the Atlantic side.
Yeah, so I came home, I white knuckled a month, and then decided, like, hey, like, I want to drink. But, like, all of my friends knew that I had a problem, and all of my friends knew that I went to rehab, and all of my friends knew I was trying to change my life. So they wouldn't fucking hang out with me.
Dick.
So, like, I ended up, like, smoking
Those
weed
are
and...
kind of good friends, though.
I know.
Yeah, to an extent.
Yeah.
Their hearts were in the right place at that point in time. So I ended up going to the bar by myself. I ended up smoking weed at my parents' house by myself. And like life was predominantly manageable for a very, very short amount of time. But like those things were just like not enough, right? So like I ended up indulging in more party favors, right? Like I didn't really start doing coke until after I tried to get clean the first time. So I went on a 2-year run. I held down a job for a year. Oh, fuck. Yeah, so like my life was unmanageable. I tried to get clean at 23, relapsed, and it was not until then that like shit really started hitting the fan, right? Like I had never overdosed until my first relapse.
Okay.
Like I picked up, I got in my car, I left, like I used immediately, right? And like before my blood could even circulate, I was in my car on my way home and I fell out behind the wheel of my car and like drove through someone's yard and like the fucking I came to with a state trooper at my car and he's like, "Hey, what's up? What you got a flat?" And I was like, "No, it's a slow leak." And like unbeknownst to me, like I'd already given him my car keys. Like my tire was blown out. I had driven through someone's yard. Like I had no fucking idea.
Killed a lawn jockey.
So yeah, I mean, within an hour of me relapsing, I overdosed for the first time. I got my first.
That was within an hour of relapsing.
Yeah, I got my first DWI and hopefully last.
That's impressive.
And so like they take me in, they book me or whatever, and like I tried to call my parents, they didn't answer. And like I had been home and like I only had friends in recovery at home at that point. Like my degenerate friends wouldn't hang out with me. So I ended up calling this kid and he came and picked me up. And I was like, I had worked the next day, right? Because like we have really good priorities when we're using.
Yeah.
So
were you?
I had just overdosed. I had just fucking got arrested, and like he came and picked me up from the precinct, and like he was on parole. He just got out of jail.
Oh,
like
that's
like
a
prison,
friend.
right?
That's a fucking friend right there.
And I'm like, all right, well, like I just need to be picked up. And we need to go to Walmart because I need boots for work tomorrow, and I need a shirt. And I got to Walmart, and I was like, well, like the cops didn't find the rest of my drugs on me when they booked me, so I'm like at Walmart. I'm like, well, I can't throw these drugs away. And I can't take him to his house. So I do the rest of the drugs. And I fucking overdose again in the back of this kid's girlfriend's car. Like, I'm meeting her.
Oh, God.
Where did you hide those drugs?
In my wallet.
Okay.
Your prison
Not
wallet?
my jail wallet either. Yeah. I mean, they're short little flat baggies. I mean, I had no tolerance. I hadn't used it 5 months.
Did you ever have to hide something? Okay.
Nope.
I'm glad. Yep. Okay.
Yeah, so that was a shit show. I felt real bad about that. But then, I mean, the next day I was at the bar with my friend. So, I mean, I really didn't learn a lesson.
Did you have to get either of the ODs? You didn't have to get Narcan or anything? You just fell out and then came to
the second one they had to Narcan me. And like obviously I was out. I didn't know this, but like his dad was a firefighter, so he called his dad, and his dad's like, give him like sternum rubs and blah blah blah, and I wouldn't come to. So he calls them. They hit me like with I think 2 shots of Narcan. They like take me to the hospital. They made me call my parents to tell them. They were like they would not call them to tell them that I overdosed. They made me do it. Which seemed like a good tactic of shame.
Yeah.
Shame.
Yeah.
Shame is a good motivator. There's a theme to my recovery line, and
That could be a
shame's
title,
great
Eric.
motivator.
Just for Catholics, I guess, yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, we're built in. That's like a default setting. Right?
Yes.
You can't. It takes a lot of work to jailbreak a Catholic, unless they're a priest. But that's none of this has anything to do with my story. So yeah, they Narcan me or whatever, and like for like 2 days, I had no idea why my chest hurt so bad. I was just like,
because they gave you a sternum
yeah,
rub.
dude,
That's why.
I had no idea. So anyway,
I don't.
I got this
It hurts
DWI.
like a motherfucker.
Is a sternum rub very?
So my
is
wife,
it very like violent?
No,
Like,
my wife had a
You wanna try
sternum
it?
rub when she the last time she OD'd, and she said that it was the most painful like feeling after.
Let me do it on you first.
Yeah.
Like I bet you were bruised as shit, right? from that?
I don't even know that I was bruised, but like I was a dope fiend, right? There was no muscle, right? It was just like just right on my chest.
But it hurt like
for days.
For days.
Dude,
for days, yeah.
Dude, when I was getting arrested in fucking Philly, they said I had the heroin body, and I was like, that is the rudest thing anybody
I would
ever
say
said to me.
thank you.
Dude, I felt so insulted.
I'd be like, thank
I
you,
was so
sir.
insulted.
I'm thin and I am gaunt.
I was like, sir, this is a cocaine body.
This was
how
in the 90s.
How dare you?
This is very Vogue.
Yeah.
Very chic. Yeah, so I got the DWI, I got put on probation, and then like the following year, like I held down a job, but it was like things just continue to get worse, right? Like I didn't get arrested again, and I didn't like overdose again, but like things just got more and more and more unmanageable. So I was on probation, so I had to piss clean, and I wasn't gonna stay clean, so I just like I must have cold turkey detoxed like 8 times at my parents the last year, and it was just fucking miserable, right? Like I was in an IOP, and then I was in a continuing care, and I would fake those P tests, but like when it came to like probation, I wasn't taking a risk, so I would like cold turkey detox, and like the last year was just fucking miserable.
Yeah.
And then like what ultimately, like it got to a point where like by the time I got my paycheck, like it was paying for last week's drugs. So I finally fucking like fell out under, so I'm a plumber by trade. I fell out under someone's kitchen cabinet. And like when I came to, I didn't know that I was passed out, and they were like real uncomfortable. They called the cops. Cops thrown away. I left, and like fucking.
Wow.
So like I got fired, right?
Well,
Like rightfully so, right?
well,
I get back
well.
to the shop, and they're like, "We need you to take a drug test." And I was like, "Well, we both know what's gonna happen if I do that." So
Yeah.
no. Right?
Yeah.
Well, then we need to ask you to leave. So at that point, I was like, all right, like I get off probation.
I can just imagine you like under a sink with a fucking pipe wrench, just like, and it's just dangling above your face, just almost dropping, and it's just like, are you gonna fix? Okay. No.
Yeah. So like, what was it? Fucking I had 30 days until I got off of probation, and like my best addict thinking was like, well, I can't go to rehab until I get off papers. Right?
Yeah.
So we're just gonna fucking ride this train, right? And at that point in time, it was January, so like I had my tax return coming, right? I was like, we're good, dude. 30 days, I could do this. Mm-hmm. And like every other good drug addict, like it doesn't matter if you portion your stuff out, you're gonna use all of it. Mm-hmm. So, what was it? I reported for the last time, or so I thought, and she just wasn't there. And, like, it fucked up my whole plan, right? I was like...
What county was all this in?
That was in Baltimore County.
Okay.
That was fucked up, too. I was pretty pissed about that. They were like, yeah, why don't, like, so you copped here. Why don't you meet us on Route 40 every other week?
Yeah.
And be clean.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I got to the end, and I was like... I reached out to the same kid that got me to Florida the first time. And he got me into a treatment center. And I like made the calls or whatever. I set up the time, and you'd ask me when I got clean this time at the beginning, and it was Valentine's Day in 2018. I was so lost in the sauce that like I had no fucking idea it was Valentine's Day. Mm-hmm. I knew that like I was running out of drugs.
When you said it initially, I thought like some woman broke your heart, and you were like,
I got clean
I'm gonna
for
get
love.
clean for her. Yeah.
No. That happened years before and sent me in a spiral.
Ooh.
No, so it was... I just knew I was running out of drugs, and if they didn't come fucking pick me up, like, I was going to find ways and means, and I wasn't going to go the next day. Mm-hmm. So I was like, you guys need to come pick me up right now, or, like, I can't promise you I'm coming.
Yeah.
And, like, thank God for body brokers and capitalism, and, like, they love making $1 off insurance fraud. They were like, hell yeah, we'll take your private insurance money. And they came and picked me up. So, yeah. I just, at this point, I had a little more surrender. I was more desperate. I successfully have stayed clean since that day. And it's like, I don't know, things like out of my hands. So just like one thing after the other, like by not using, right? Things have worked out and gotten better and better and better. So I went to New Jersey, I detoxed, and then I came back down to Maryland and went to Gaithersburg, went through a 30-day treatment.
Why Jersey?
because that was where the detox was.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know in the call center. They send us whoever's paying for insurance fraud. That's where you get sent. Welcome to America.
It's perfect.
Yeah, it's
Perfect system. No flaws at all.
I mean, it helped me out.
It works.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, it works.
It works. Yeah.
Where
Yeah.
where in Gaithersburg is there a treatment center?
It's again, welcome to corporate America. It got bought by a conglomerate. It no longer exists. But yeah, it was in Gaithersburg. I went through my 30 days there. I did 3 months of IOP. And I did things this time that I didn't do the first time, right? Like this time I got a home group. This time I got a service commitment. This time, I was willing to move into a halfway house, right? Like the first time I was able to move back to my parents' house, and this time, like, I just knew, like, even if I was allowed, it wasn't an option. I was never going to make it there. So this time I just, like, I came in, I had more desperation, I had more willingness, I took some suggestions. I got a sponsor, I got a home group, I got a service position. I fucking hated that service position.
What was your first service position?
I was coffee maker.
What's wrong with making coffee?
So this particular home group, like, had like 100 attendees.
Oh God.
So it was a big coffee maker, right? It was at a hospital. We were not allowed to keep the things there. I was not allowed to park in the hospital parking lot. I had to show up an hour early. I had to fill it up from the faucet in the bathroom that was not tall enough to fill it up. So I had to fill this 100-cup coffee maker lid by lid. And then, like, I mean, we're drug addicts, right? They're all fucking animals. So, like, fuck that table, right? That table was covered in fucking coffee and creamer and fucking sugar and fucking everything else. Like, I fucking hated that position. I like had a longboard at the point in time, so I would just like have this giant fucking duffel bag full of coffee stuff, and I had to be there an hour early, and like it wasn't a particularly early meeting, so it was like if I wanted to fellowship afterwards, I'd hurry up and clean up afterwards, and like everyone knew I hated it.
Yeah.
Like I did not mince words. I did not like try to hide it, right? I was not trying to be like a martyr for fucking coffee maker, right? I fucking hated it. Everyone knew I fucking hated it. And
that could be a title, Eric. A martyr for coffee maker.
Yeah. But in full hindsight, right? Like my home group was on Saturday, right? Mm-hmm. And like I had nothing better to do on a Saturday night, right? Like even if I thought I had something better to do on a Saturday night, I had 0 days clean and I had nothing better to do. Mm-hmm. A fucking meeting on a Saturday night in early recovery. So, like, that position got me to my home group on Saturday. It put me at a meeting on Saturday. It put me there an hour early. It put me in a position to meet people and get connected, be a home group member. It showed me, like, how home groups work, how the fellowship works. And, like, it was just what I needed, whether I wanted it or not. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I mean, I was, like, this time I just did a bunch of things that were suggested that I wouldn't do the first time. First time was like a trial run, right? Like nobody but me needed that relapse, right? Like my fucking parents, my niece, my siblings, like nobody fucking needed my first relapse but me. Cause it just solidified the idea that like I am an addict, right? It doesn't matter if it's dope or what, like I'm addicted to more. That's all I want. And even if it's not a substance, like that's a theme in my recovery, right? Like, So yeah, I stayed in that halfway house for 2 years. They built a new house. They had me move into that one and like manage it. I lived there for 3 years.
What house?
Mike's place.
Oh, okay.
In Rockville.
Yeah. Nice.
And those people were, I mean, they saved my life, right? Mm-hmm. Like at the time we had a house manager who like was no nonsense and like he was like about the program. Like this motherfucker wanted me to take half a Claritin when I had the flu, right? Like this motherfucker like was like old school recovery, like less is he had this saying, it was less is best. And it was like, dude, I just want some fucking Dayquil. Yeah. Right? Like this I want the gel tab. It doesn't have any alcohol in it, like it doesn't have any DXM, it doesn't have anything. I just want some fucking Dayquil. He's like, why don't you take half a Claritin, brother? Yeah. And I'm like, this sucks. But it kept me clean, right?
Half a Claritin?
Yeah, dude.
That's
I'm not even embellishing. But I mean, homie's got, what was it? I went to a celebration. He just celebrated 32 years.
Who is it?
Bruce.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't know. Just doing things I hadn't done before, taking suggestions, putting myself, like they say, people, places, and things, right? Like I was far enough from home, but not too far. Like I could go back if I needed to. And it was like just putting one foot in front of the other and trying to do the next right thing and like trying to be an adult, trying to be a respectful member of society. And I don't know, I realized that like I was definitely like using to like mask how uncomfortable I was, right? Like anything to get outside of myself. It was like I had like I had a few $100s to my name when I got clean, and it was like my car needed fucking tires. But like the day I got out of rehab, I like went to M Street and like paid retail for some Ray-Bans because I thought they'd make me feel better. And they did until I got to the door, and it was just like that's like a theme, right? Like we're all just out here trying to fill a hole, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I mean it was like I had a Chevy Malibu when I got clean, and then I got an Audi A4, and like that felt great until it didn't, and then I got like a big truck, and like that felt great until it didn't, and like just spending all my money on like shoes and clothes and shit that I didn't fucking need to make me feel better, and it was like just retail recovery, right? And like that stuff just doesn't last.
No.
But I did realize early on, right? Like it didn't matter what I had. It was like how I was living, right? So like I just moved out of the IOP house, moved into the halfway house, and the guys at the IOP house like needed rides to meetings, and I had a car. So it was like I would get in my car I used to hate washing my car because every time I washed the car, I'd find another dent or another ding or another scratch.
I never
or, like,
wash my car.
So like
I've never washed my car either.
Do you wash your car?
I take it to the car wash.
Okay.
My car has never been
I don't
washed.
even do that. Nope. I don't have time for that shit.
But it's impressive that you do.
It'll rain eventually.
It does rain, and then I have to wash it again.
Wait, that's counterintuitive?
That's counter. Yeah. What? Why? The rain washed your car. You're good.
No. But anyway, right?
like,
so like
I'm not
I'd be
gonna talk about this, you
feeling like
savages.
shit about this car, right? And then it was like as soon as I filled that car with a bunch of guys that had 30 fucking days clean and like took them to a meeting, like I felt good and I fucking loved that car, right? Like within an hour and a half, like I went from like this piece of shit car to like hell yeah, right? Because I was using it to do the next right thing. I was helping other people, and it was like, and it like felt good, right?
It became a vehicle for goodness.
Yeah.
A vehicle for recovery.
I really hate that I just said that. That was the corniest shit
It's
I've
a
ever said.
vehicle for recovery.
Yeah, so I don't know. It's been a slow and steady process. It was like I had a couple years. COVID happened. I sat still for far too long. And yeah, I don't know. I've tried to put one foot in front of the other and keep moving and do the next right thing. And as of late, like it has paid off in spades, and it feels like the last 3 months of like this year, we're 3 months in, I'm having a crazy fucking year. And it feels like every single thing that I did in my first 7 years of recovery, like has culminated to this point. Right, like,
Nice.
like suiting up and showing up, like going to work every day, like, so my first day back to work this year, I got laid off.
What?
And I just like hit the ground running, right? So like at 1 p.m., and I was in the union, so at 1 p.m. I got laid off. At 2 p.m. I signed the book so that they'd find me another job. At 3 p.m. I signed up for unemployment. By 8 p.m. that night, I had started an LLC. By the end of the month, I have gotten my master plumber license, my MHIC, started my own company. I've been working for myself all year, and yesterday I finalized a transaction to purchase my previous employer's company.
Wow.
So, like,
Damn.
So like, and that was the guy, like the company that I bought, like the guy that I bought it from.
Are you
like,
just buying his book, or what are you buying?
I'm buying the name of the company, the truck, all of his tools, the material on hand, the phone number, and the book of business.
The book of business? Okay, good.
So, this guy gave me an opportunity. I had 32 days clean, and this guy gave me a job, right? Nice. And, like, he didn't know me. I had known my sponsor for 5 days, right? And my sponsor called this guy and got me a job with this guy. This guy didn't know me from anybody else. He gave me an opportunity, right? And I showed up. I took 4 days off my first year of recovery. I showed up every day. I showed up on time. I did my job to the best of my ability. Like, my 30-minute lunches were 30 minutes. And I just strived for, like, integrity, right? Like, the things that we do when nobody else is watching, like, that's what makes somebody who the fuck they are. So, like, I showed up. I worked for him for 4 years. I showed up every day, on time, acted with integrity, did what I said what I was going to do, and that was just me trying to be a fucking adult, right? Like, that was just me in my mid-20s trying to grow up, be responsible, and, like, little did I know that it was going to, like, open this door for me to, like, buy this company, right? Like, little did I know that, I firmly believe that actions speak louder than words. So it was like, when I got clean this time, I did not run around and say sorry to everyone, right? I was like, we're going to wait, like, a year, maybe, like, 2 years until, like, there's factual evidence in front of our face that, like, says, like, hey, he's doing something different, right? So, like, that's all that mattered, right? Like, when I first got clean, I was excited to be, like, I was excited to be a brother. I was excited to be a son. I was excited to be an uncle, figure out how to be a friend. And it was like, I don't know, just, like, showing up one day after the next, put one foot in front of the other and taking suggestions. Like, my life is, like, 1,000 times better than when I got here, right? Like, I had given up at a very young age, right? Like, I remember I was, like, 10 years old and I found out how much, like, a new truck cost. And I was like, well, we're never gonna, like, I think it was like $25,000 for a truck when I was, like, 10 years old. And I was like, well, we're fucked. I was like, I'll never have $25,000, right? And I, like,
now I'm like, fuck, give me the gig.
Yeah,
offer me a $25,000 truck. Yeah,
right?
awesome.
A fucking $40,000 Civic. Fuck that. Doesn't even have a spooner engine. Yeah, so I don't know. I just, like, I had, at the very end of my road, right? Like, no one would hang out with me. I was like, going to Baltimore in an open drug market and fucking, like, they knew me by name.
That's different.
And it was like, I was literally just hanging out with my mom each night because, like, I didn't know if I was going to wake up in the morning. I was like, I know I'm not going to stop doing what I'm going to do because I know that I can't stop. I know that it's not fair to you. I know, like, I could fucking die any single day because I can't stop doing heroin. So, like, I'm just going to, like, try to give you as much time with your son as you can have before I fucking kick the bucket.
Oh, God.
And then I went to treatment. And I haven't used since. So that's pretty tight. But yeah, no, I mean, I had given up by the end. Like,
yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, just, like, the relationships that I've, like, made here have saved my life, and they enable me to make my life better, right? I'm heavily agnostic, but the saying is, like, we made plans and God laughed, right? Like, my plan was to I had a wicked W-2, right? I was going to buy a house in February. I was going to do my own thing in May, and I got laid off the first day of the year. So, like, all of that went to shit. So I, like, hit the ground running. And, like, the theme of my year, which is a skill that I've picked up in recovery, is just, like, pick up my phone and call somebody that has more experience, right? Yeah. And it's, like, I've quote unquote, like, we don't judge in recovery, but stick with the winners, right? Like, it's pretty clear he's, like, fucking around and not. But it's, like, the theme of my year is just, like, call people with more experience. And, like, a large number of people in, like, what I consider to be, like, my network aren't necessarily in recovery. Like, they're just, like, they are people with integrity that, like, are professional or whatever, right? So, like, there's skills that I picked up in recovery that, like, pay off tenfold. And it was, like, being able to ask for help is a strength, right? It's not a weakness. Like, regardless of what toxic masculinity tells me, like, the fact that I can ask for help is a strength. And it's paid off in spades this year. So, yeah, I don't know. Everything's super good today. I'm feeling real optimistic about the future, and that's, like, a first, right? Like,
You've actually
I've had a
you've
negative.
actually like pumped me up this morning. I'm like, yeah, I do feel good.
Yeah, no, I had all but given up by the age of 10, right? Like, I've always been, like, a pessimist. I've always been fucking, like, like, my favorite excuse, like, I'm a realist, right? I mean, I'm not an optimist, that's for sure. But, like, I'm feeling pretty good about the future. And, like, pretty much the whole world's on fire right now. So that says something, I think.
Yeah.
Right? I mean,
For sure.
everything is unsure. Everything's falling apart. I'm a little salty. I'm like, I feel like I finally figured out the rules to the game, and now they're changing the rules.
Yeah.
But we'll keep moving.
Yeah.
We'll keep
the
one foot for
goalposts
the
always
other.
keep moving.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
So, yeah, that's my story.
fantastic. We got some questions for you. Who would like to go first?
I feel like you haven't gone first in a long time, so go ahead.
Okay. Thank you. That's a fun question. You went through the DARE program, right?
He's a
I'm
little
not
young,
that
dude.
old.
Oh,
young.
really?
He's only 32.
You didn't. So
I mean, I know what you're talking about, Nancy Reagan and whatnot. Like,
Yeah,
no,
so
they
did
were.
you
He's
didn't
not
have
our
the DARE
age,
program?
dude. He's not our age.
I mean,
did they have a different like drug awareness program when you were a kid?
I remember like McGuff the crime dog.
Yes.
Definitely remember him. Like, and
I
if there
think-
was like a DARE program, it was like fucking kindergarten, first grade.
No, I
right?
think
What?
Dare was starting to get
Fizzled out by
fizzled
us?
out.
Yeah, that's Reagan.
Like that, but like we're like kind of the last Dare generation.
Did you have
Because
DARE?
Yeah.
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 I thought they still had it.
Bill Clinton was in office when I was a children.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
Bill Clinton visited my wife's kindergarten class.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
right.
Let me shift gears then.
We're gonna backtrack for just a second. It might be your podcast, but it's my story, so just sit still.
Fucking
when
right.
I was
Hell
9 years old, I got run over by our lawnmower tractor and almost lost my foot. So like when I was
Wait,
I was
stop.
9 years old, I got run over by our lawnmower tractor.
How?
I had reconstructive surgery. I had an external fixator on my foot.
Me too.
They pumped me full of morphine and Dilaudid.
Me too.
For months.
Me too.
And then like everything went well, right? Like shout out to Union Memorial. I was the fastest kid on my fucking football team. Like flawless recovery from like
we
a
have the
freak
technology.
fucking
We
accident.
can rebuild him.
Yeah. But before I started using drugs recreationally, I knew what time it was when Mom had to come bring me my fucking Dilaudid. So anyway, back to your question.
That was a big part of the story
Yeah,
to
dude.
gloss over, buddy.
Dude,
Well, that's not my
you're-
recovery. That's like my
Yeah.
You're
children.
manufactured, my friend.
yeah.
God.
No, I fully take responsibility. I
You
can't.
are manufactured. That's
Okay,
tough.
So DARE's out. I'm asking a question.
Wait. I gotta
Okay.
know more about this fucking foot now.
Okay, we'll
Jesus.
pivot to you. Go ahead.
What is up with? Okay, so you had what one fixator or how many fixators?
It was one. I don't know. I had 2 posts in my shin and then 2 on each side of my foot. So I had 6 pins and 1 external
Let's start with
fixator.
like the first thing. How the fuck did your leg get under a lawnmower?
So I grew up in Jarrettsville, which is next to the middle of nowhere.
Uh-huh.
Right. And I'm one of 4 kids, so there were always like baseballs, softballs, soccer balls in the yard. So like I would ride on the back of the tractor
Oh,
and jump off and clear whatever was out.
So this
right?
is like
Quality-
a John Deere mower
It
tractor
was a
type
Craftsman,
thing.
but yeah.
Okay, same.
so
yeah,
this
same,
was
same
like a
deal.
game your dad created, and then it went terribly wrong.
Yeah. So.
Oh, your mom must have been pissed.
Oh, dude, it happened Mother's Day weekend.
Oh, my
Yeah. So the tractor didn't have brakes.
what the fuck?
Yeah, so it was like there's this little hill at the property line, and like we went up the hill, I fell off the back, and he came back, he backed up over me. Yeah, so it was like, in hindsight, not a great idea.
How
but, I mean,
gnarl
it
was
was
your
an accident. It chipped the ball on my foot. It cut out the nerves immediately. I really didn't feel it.
Well, the nerve damage and pain is always it's known.
Yeah, so I mean, I had a couple skin grafts. I was
Jesus,
like, I
you
think
did
I was
skin
in
grafts?
recovery for like 3 months.
Yeah.
I was in a wheelchair for a while. I ended up having to like teach myself how to walk again that
Yeah.
summer. Yeah,
Wow.
Yeah,
But
dude.
I was like a child, right? So like I didn't
Yeah.
I didn't
get it.
harbor any like negative feelings. I was just like, well, this sucks, but like you don't know what the fuck normal is when you're fucking 9,
Yeah, you're,
right?
No,
you're
you're
just like,
just
oh,
like,
yeah,
I was-
all right. This
you
I
is
was
were-
still a
normal.
happy kid because I was ignorant.
You were a little younger than me when I
Yeah.
had my surgeries.
Wow.
I was like 14, 15, so I was a little more angsty. But at 9 or 10, I can see you
Ignorance
just being
is
like,
bliss, dude. They were
Yeah.
just pumping me full of fucking opiates, and I was
Oh,
like,
yeah.
this is a good
Lots
time.
of opiates.
Oh my god, you're telling me that I get to sit on the couch and not go to school for 2 months?
Play video games, watch movies.
Yeah, I built like, what was it? Like Star Wars Episode 2 came out at the time. My classmates felt guilty and bought me a giant Lego set. That
Oh,
was
did you
tight.
do weird stuff like with video games at all during your time? Like destroy other people's towns or anything like that? No.
No, these are the days. These are the days of PlayStation 2. So that
Okay.
wasn't enough.
Okay. So we weren't GameCube. Okay.
What I was doing, which no other child was doing, was watching Three's Company and Different Strokes.
Well,
So-
I mean, Nick at Night, dude.
That's what I'm talking about,
Yeah.
Willis. No, this was the middle of the day.
Yeah, that's middle of the day,
Yeah,
dude.
that's
That's not Nick
daytime
of the Night.
TV.
Yeah, that's daytime. That's daytime rerun
That is
1970s television.
That is daytime. What was that called again? That channel? TV Land.
Yeah.
TV Land.
Yeah, probably maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was TV Land.
Okay, now to my question.
If you dare.
Yeah, if I dare, which is not going to be a dare question. I mean, I'll pivot a little bit. So, how did that, early access and like just early exposure to drugs, do you think that played a part in understanding that drugs could change your feelings?
No, I was completely ignorant to the fact that like I didn't know what I was taking. I just knew like that like it was time to take more.
Yeah.
Right? Like I didn't know what the effects were. I didn't know the drug names. I didn't know anything about it. Like I just knew like, hey, I'm in pain. Like we're gonna take this.
This is my foot pain stuff.
Yeah, so no, if anything, like the whole like nature versus nurture thing, I think it just like it started the rewiring, right? Like I don't think it if it played a part at all, I think it was just like, hey, your brain is now used to copious amounts of opiates, right? Like these neural networks are now hardwired for dope.
Yeah.
Does your foot look normal?
For the most part. I have to point it out. Like
So like you can't tell that like a riding mower fucked your foot up.
you have to look for it.
Wow.
Like I mean, I can go to the beat. Like
Good
no one's
surgeon.
gonna know unless I point it out.
Nice. All right, Carl. What do you got?
I've always kind of wondered this. Going to like rehab in Florida and like those paradise places, and then going back to reality, like how much of an effect does that have? Like, is it a struggle? Like you're in this wonderful place and then you have to go back to real life? Because that's not a part of my story.
Yeah.
So I did not fall victim to the Florida Shuffle, right? Like I didn't leave one and go to the next and go to the next. Like,
Yeah.
I just went there. I was trying to get better.
Luckily, you were a little late to that game.
Yeah. So I went. At first, I felt guilty being there, right? Like I did not come for money. Like we had some pretty serious struggles before I got clean, and I went down there adamant to like get clean, right? Like I didn't know that if it was going to be a forever thing. I didn't know if I was going to be an addict, whatever, right? But like I definitely like felt guilty being down there because I went from like my home life that wasn't great at the time to like there was like an in-house quote unquote chef, and I mean they weren't great meals, but like I didn't have to cook for myself. Everything was provided. They had like a masseuse that came in once a week, and that was fucking tight.
Nice.
But also like I went to technically South Florida in like July, so like it was kind of fucking miserable.
Yeah.
Or like
Oh yeah, detoxing in that just level of heat. Ooh.
yeah, and then I went to the IOP that was just like efficiencies, right? They bought some piece of shit motel, so it was just like I mean I didn't have great living quality or anything down there. I was not down there or clean long enough to have like afforded myself anything. But it was like I came home and was just around the same environment, the same people. So, I don't know. I think I was just fortunate to not get caught up in the Florida Shuffle. and I went for what it was. I don't know that I would do it again, but
Hopefully you don't have to, bud.
no, yeah. Well, so the other thing was
That's
like
the goal.
the second time I tried to get clean, which is this time. I was making phone calls to see where I could go, right? And we called Father Martin Ashley.
Ooh.
And they were like, we'll only cover 80%. You guys have to pay out of pocket for the other 20%.
Steak night is great though, dude.
Well, so that was it. I was like, it didn't make sense to me to go eat steak and lobster for a month and then come back to my fucking parents' house in the same thing. Like,
surf and turf.
Listen,
dude.
you got to do what you got to do.
Surf and turf.
in order
so
to
that's
recover.
when I ended up going to Gaithersburg, right? And like my experience in private recovery was like we had a house chef and we had masseuses and we were in Florida. And then I went there and I was like, so this is another funny caveat that I did not throw into the mix. When I got to Gaithersburg, I had not slept in 3 days.
Nice.
So
Always
when
a
I got to
fun time.
Gaithersburg, I went through and like now I go by John. John is my government name. My entire life growing up, I
Christian
went by
name.
Alex.
Why?
It's the first half of my middle name. So like every single person
Wait,
in
stop.
Harford County
Wait,
that I
stop.
grew up with.
Stop.
Yep.
Stop.
What-
First half of your middle name. What the fuck does that mean?
John Alexander?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
It's context clues. I understand.
Yeah.
Alexander.
So anyway,
Like, I mean, I thought you had like a cool like double middle name. It's just Alexander.
No, only I
no,
have a
I have
double
two
middle
first
name.
names, and most of the time I know. It's
Yeah,
with
you're
my
completely
hands.
untrustworthy.
Um,
Well, no, your last name's not a first name, so you're good.
my last name is Crook.
Yeah.
So that's not very trustworthy.
That's not very trustworthy. Oh, no.
Yeah,
That's a good
so
point.
that's
That's a
when I
good
started
point, yeah.
going by John.
Why?
And because I hadn't slept in 3 days, and all of my insurance paperwork was under John. So I was just like, I had no intentions of staying. I just wanted to like get through it. I was just like, I hadn't slept in 3 days. I had just gone through detox. I
call
felt
me
like
John.
shit.
Yeah.
And like since then, I have been John. So like that's its own fun fucking game.
So you were Alex for how long?
I was Alex for 25 years.
And now you're John.
And then he got clean and
Now I'm
was
John.
John.
Yeah. You literally reinvented yourself. You became a whole new person.
That would.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
you are
weird.
Jason Bourne.
It was weird. It was weird at first. Like, so I don't like maybe try this next time you're face to face with a fucking barista. But like when they ask you for your name for your cup of coffee and you stutter, like you don't know what your own name is, you get some weird looks, right? Because like depending on like where I was, I had a different name. So like trying to like parse everything out and figure out how to be myself and be clean, like was it. I don't recommend it.
No.
Right?
No. Yeah.
Right? Yeah, so I mean now
Have
I'm
you
like
ever had a nickname that stuck?
No.
Eric? No?
It's
Nickname?
not really a nickname, though. It's his name.
My name.
Yeah,
My names
cool.
are always like Eric Von Yayo. They always had to do with drugs. So like that was my nicknames.
Okay,
in school.
fair enough.
Or Mud because I got too drunk and passed out in a stream one time.
Okay. All right.
so it's not because of Matthew McConaughey.
No.
That's
Okay.
good.
No.
That's good.
No.
Alright.
All right, Eric, what question you got?
Now that I know about the foot, shit.
No, we already talked. We already tackled the foot.
Well,
Move on.
Well, no, you said you're still like you were still able to be an athlete. I'm just curious, like, what sports did you play, and how were you able to rehab to a point where your foot wasn't in pain anymore, or do you still have nerve pain? You
No,
still
I
have
just
some
don't
nerve
feel
pain.
it.
Oh, you have nerve damage. You
like
have,
they-
you have
the-
good enough nerve damage, or
Yeah, like I don't like the top of my foot is still numb. Like I could feel it to a
Oh,
certain
geez,
extent. Like
yeah.
if you like run your finger over the top of my foot, like I can feel it, but it's
but
not,
it feels
like,
weird, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
so like
don't,
my
yeah.
shins have both my shins have nerve damage. Like so when I touch them, it feels different than
worst
touching
injury
the
you
rest
ever
of
had.
my body, right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of the same for you. Like your foot just feels different.
Yeah, but it's it's
broken
the
bones,
top of my foot and like touching like like
Yeah.
I
So
mean,
do you
16
still-
hours a day, I'm on my feet, right?
Yeah.
So, like, 16
So that-
hours
yeah,
a
it
day,
actually benefits you.
365 days for fucking 25
I get
years.
it.
Like, it's normal.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it's
That's,
not. It
yeah, I
doesn't
mean
feel
you're
any
a
different to me.
plumber, so yeah, you're gonna be on your feet a lot. So,
Yeah.
damn, dude. Did you? What sports did you play after?
I played soccer and I played football. I played lacrosse.
Jesus.
I was midfield, so, like, I
You had to run. Yeah, you had to run.
I am actually now a runner. I successfully
I don't
quit
have the knees
vaping.
for it.
I successfully quit vaping Memorial Day this last year, and like didn't know what the fuck to do with my hands. And I started fucking running. So now I am a runner who runs. I've run 2 races this year. I've got 8 more.
Marathon, half marathon. What are we talking?
I'm gearing up to do a half marathon at the end of the year.
Fantastic.
So yeah, it's been a crazy development.
I walked a 5K once. No big deal.
I am all sorts of things that I never thought I would be, right? Like I can like pat myself on the back that like I am almost a person that like my 12-year-old self would be proud to be, right? And that's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
So,
all right. All right. I want to go back to the meter stick person because I had one as well. It was Brad. And while we were using, as long as Brad was worse than me, I was okay. But you used it in a different way when coming into recovery. You sort of swung it the opposite way. You were like, oh, if this guy can fucking do it, I can do it too.
yeah.
I never did that. So like did your meter stick person like keep you sick longer because like they were always worse than you and it like gave you that mental block? And like how did using it in the positive, aid your recovery?
I am a selfish, arrogant piece of shit, so I did not associate with this person.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Yeah, no, like this was the person, right? That was like, as long as I'm not as bad as him, I'm fine, right? So like I didn't really associate with them socially beforehand, and I was just like floored when they got their shit together and like came into this treatment center.
Okay.
Like there's no like there is no way to paint myself in a decent light with like my honest like perception at that point in time. Like I was just like, judgment is a big issue of mine. So so I just finished going over my 6th step.
Nice. Nice. All right. I love roller coasters while I'm on them, but getting in line, I actually have to like convince myself, and I actually like pick out like a 10-year-old, and I'm like, okay, if they're gonna get on the fucking roller coaster, I can do it too.
Are you kidding?
No, I'm not kidding. Thrill rides scare the shit out of me until I'm actually on them and the ride is happening, and then I'm like, okay, this is great. But like sitting in line, and like I'm sitting there anxious, I'm like, what if it goes off the rails?
We need to go.
And I fly off this fucking roller coaster.
We
and I
need
die.
to go to a roller coaster park together, and I'm just.
I need to wait
fuck
for.
with you.
I need to.
The
I need to.
entire time.
I need to wait for my vertigo to fix itself before I do that. But yes, I'm willing to do that.
Yeah, I've taken 3 big exams this year, and each one I was just like thinking of dumb people who have these licenses. And I'm just like, if they can fucking do it, there's no like. I just need to stop, take a deep breath, and just do it. And it's panned out well.
That's also partially why I don't trust man-made objects, because I know the idiots that put them together.
Yeah, I mean, Boeing's not doing well right now, so.
No, they are one of my, they're one of my customers, and like just the fact that like,
I wouldn't speak too loudly about Boeing.
Why?
They killed their
lizard people?
whistleblower.
Oh, who cares, dude? If they're coming after me, they're scraping the absolute bottom barrel of their critics.
They did kill their whistleblower, like pretty out in the open.
Leave the Clintons out of this. Let's move on.
Let's move on, Carly. What do you got?
So you had like essentially 2 ODs within 24 hours?
Yeah.
Was there any part of that was like, okay, maybe this is my bottom, maybe I should get clean?
That's a good point.
I mean, I was embarrassed by the second one. I didn't really think twice about the first one, because it wasn't like, I didn't need to be revived, right? Like, there was certainly a shock to being Narcaned and like waking up in the back of an ambulance.
But you were just like, oh, that was good shit.
Literally, my response was, I need to be more careful, right? Like, that's what I got out of that.
Yeah.
I need to be more careful. Yeah. Unfortunately, that is all I really got out of that. That's a shame.
Out of curiosity, does anyone carry Narcan on them?
No, I do not. I should.
I carry Narcan in my car, and I carry it on
Dude, I don't even carry a fucking EpiPen, and I'm allergic to bees.
Well, I have millions of EpiPens.
I'll take one.
I can give you an older one, but you should use.
They do expire, dude.
Well, yeah, but you have to look at them in the light, and if they're not cloudy, it's okay.
All right.
That's what the doctor told me.
Okay.
Because they're expensive as fuck.
They are, and that's why I don't have them.
You're allergic to bees, and you don't have an EpiPen?
Yeah.
That's really dumb, dude.
I know.
I'll give you.
I like to roll. I like to live dangerously.
I'm gonna give you an EpiPen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. What do you got, Eric?
Let's see. I'm gonna go with a classic one here. What's your favorite step?
Oh.
Honestly, probably the 4th step.
Whoa.
Really?
Yeah.
Weird. Why?
Because it made it impossible to like look at it like honestly and like continue blaming other people, right? Like it's like very clear cut, very like easy to say that like if you've worked an honest 4th step, like you shouldn't be a fucking victim anymore, right? Like this is all the shit I've done. This is the hand that I've played. And like I mean, for the most part, right? Like there are certain things that are like trauma that is not your fault.
Yeah.
But like my experience has been like,
I mean, you getting run over was totally your fault. I mean, you shouldn't have been standing there.
Obviously.
No,
I don't even loop that into fucking trauma, right? Like I don't point fingers or blame anything. Like my stuff, right?
Insane.
So
you're way too easygoing,
That's
dude.
just insane.
I would hold that above my parents like forever.
I mean, it made me like a touch of a hypochondriac, right? Like I'm
I bet it
definitely
did.
more risk averse.
I bet it did.
But like nothing crippling.
Did it
nothing,
compound? By the way, it had to have compounded.
What specifically?
Bone
Like
through the skin.
your fracture.
No.
Oh my god! So it was just mangled. Your foot was just like.
No,
it's
it
just
just chipped. Like I got super fortunate.
Wait,
dude.
did
Like,
the blades hit you? Like,
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Like it like pretty much like took the skin off the top of my foot. It nicked like the corner of the ball of my foot. Like that's the extent of it.
Oh my god! You got so lucky, dude.
Yeah. No, like it was like
And did it break your did the weight of it
broke-
break your ankle or separate the ankle?
no.
No,
So
it
you
broke
just got hit by the blades.
So
Yeah.
the ball of your foot broke,
It-
essentially.
It chipped the
Yeah,
like,
it
the corner off
got
of it.
sliced. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
His
crazy.
bone got sliced. Oh, that's crazy. That's rad.
Ow.
Yeah.
I'm calling you Bone Saw from now on. All right. I want to ask the funny question now. So you are in a relationship with one of our good friends that we've had on the podcast a couple times.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything funny, like cheekily embarrassing that she does that you can share? If you say no, I'm gonna be so upset.
Sometimes, let's see.
Like, is there like a quirk that you're just like, why the fuck does this human do this?
Sometimes I have to remind her who David O is because she's so indifferent. And
that
he's
is.
so
Oh,
irrelevant
she's
to her
totally.
life that,
You
like,
piece of shit.
I have to remind her who he is sometimes. But outside of that, I mean, she's pretty all right. She's pretty normal. I mean, I've chosen her as a partner for a few years now. So
I feel like I have been burned in a scathing review by both of you now. I hate you. All right, well, I'm gonna ask you a second question because
Isn't Miranda
that
just mean?
boomeranged so bad. Fuck you both. Miranda, I hope you listen to this, and I hope you step on a Lego. So what was the hardest part about early recovery for you, and what's the hardest part about, long-term recovery?
let's see. The hardest part about early recovery was just like everything had to change, right? Like I had used every single day for 13 years, and it was like literally every day clean was like, not to sound like over dramatic, like everything was a new experience, right? Like it was my first Christmas clean. It was my first Thanksgiving clean. It was my first right? Like I had never sat through those feelings clean.
Yeah.
So it was like everything was a new experience, right? Like not having my coping mechanisms that were not great.
Yeah.
Which led me to a deep love of heroin. Side note, fucking hate fentanyl. Fuck fentanyl. Love heroin.
Yep. Fuck fentanyl. I agree with you.
But no, like everything was a new experience, right? So like it was one difficult thing is like finding people who had relatively the same amount of clean time who were like about it, right? Like it's hard to have 30 days clean and have friends that have like who are going through similar things to you that are like trying to get clean and stay clean, and like they aren't just there for an oil change, right?
Yeah.
So like finding a relatable network, changing fucking everything. I mean, just like I really had to rely on like the fact that like I thought I would go to meetings and people who use like me successfully were not using and seemed genuinely happy, right? Like when I picked my sponsor, like it was because he showed up every week. He had a good sense of humor, and like he looked happy, right? And like that just seemed like such a far jump, right? I didn't think that I could just like be happy without the use of drugs, right?
Yeah.
I was only happy with the use of drugs, right? I was upset if I didn't have drugs. And I certainly didn't blame the drugs for me being upset. But now staying clean is like, now it's kind of second nature, but like now it's just like trying to rewind the tape, right? Like I need to go back to day one to remind myself that like I need to be here.
Yeah.
I need to schedule my recovery and my meetings and my networking like into. I need to schedule into my schedule.
A now busier life. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like being able to remind myself that I need to be here, and then just being adamant about making time to participate. Right. Like I just went over 6, and it became like pretty.
So your first 6 or second 6?
My first 6.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, no, dude. After COVID, I fucking chilled so hard. It took me 3 attempts to do my 6th step because I kept losing it, and like
That was my 10th step.
I made my list of defects. I went over it. Like I got to the bottom of it. I'm like, I understand why I do the things that I do. I know like all of that, and then I just like would set it down, or like I didn't save the file, or it took me 3 attempts in 4 years to do my 6th step, not because I was like avoiding the 6th step or like the uncomfortability, right? It's like I just didn't care, right? Like I move at the rate of my pain. Life was pretty good. Ooh. I had a steady paying job. Like I didn't.
That's the title, Eric.
I didn't care.
What's the title?
To move on.
I move at the rate of my pain.
Yeah.
Ooh.
That's killer.
So yeah, I mean now it's just like trying to remind myself that I'm here for a reason. I'm supposed to be here, and to continue participating, right? Like I only get out of this what I put into it. And then there's like the other side of it that I really struggle with is like our primary purpose, right? Like I have a hard time reaching out to newcomers, and like sometimes the still sick and suffering addict is somebody that's time, right? Like I can be the sick and suffering addict with some abstinence, right?
Yeah.
Like clean time, whatever. So I think it's just reminding myself that I need to be here, and sticking with that.
All right. You got any more questions? Eric, do you have any more questions?
No, I don't think so.
All right. Well, we're about out of time, so we would like to thank our friend Jon for joining us today.
Woo! Yay!
Fantastic job, man. Thanks for coming on. One more quick minute to you. Talking to anybody out there who's struggling, needs to hear a message of hope. What do you have to say directly to them?
Take suggestions, right? I mean, do the things that are suggested that you don't want to do, right? Like it was pretty easy for me to parse out in the beginning of like the difference of what I should do and what I want to do. And a lot of the time at the beginning, like what I wanted to do was not what I should have been doing. So, I mean, look for someone who has what you want and do what they're doing.
Yep.
It's almost that simple. I mean, you got to show up every day and successfully not use, but
yeah. That's the only thing you got to do perfectly.
Yeah.
Just don't use.
It helps to have someone to look up to.
Absolutely. All right. Well, thank you again, everybody. Thanks for joining us. Go to all our social media outlets. I'm not going to list them out anymore because you know what they are. Like, share, subscribe. Please do join our Patreon because we are self-supporting and need help keeping the mics on. But most importantly, everybody out there,
Stay safe and stay clean.